This One's Wife. Blinded Boozy Blunder. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. He hasn't been around as much. You'll recall Christopher Boozy, the individual who rather has the glamorous title of tech CEO, who embarked upon a campaign to try and take down what he called single-purpose hate accounts in a report which lacked any credibility once forensically examined. He became something of a mouthpiece, not to the level of the improperly named plastic-faced Special Lieutenant Omid Scobie, but became a mouthpiece as a consequence of him apparently sticking up for This One's Wife and appearing in the Harry and This One's Wife docuseries. He's found himself in regular scrapes, subject of litigation, complaints about the misuse of data, contravening various regulations in relation to that, and has regularly engaged in what can only be described as spats on X with a number of individuals. Opinionated and rather full of himself, which is rather remarkable for somebody who regularly has made so many calls. It's quite entertaining in a sense, but it demonstrates again how a member of the coterie feels that it's appropriate for him to put forward his views, which are given an outlet in the Daily Mail. Bridie Pearson-Jones writes, Prince Harry and This One's Wife supporter Christopher Boozy has doubled down on a bizarre conspiracy theory about the Princess of Wales, claiming that she has not been seen in public since Christmas Day. The tech CEO, 48 from New York, who appeared in the Sussex's Netflix documentary, took to X to share his doubts about the recent sighting of Kate Middleton and Prince William shopping at a farm shop in Windsor. He wrote, Serious question. Has any reporter taken the time to go to Windsor Farm and ask the staff if William and Kate were there over the weekend? Besides, the man who was paid for the video, has anyone else gone on the record about seeing William and Kate at the farm, he wrote. Well, then in a second tweet he wrote, so let me see if I understand this correctly. Kate's video is one of the biggest stories of 2024, and not a single person who works at the farm store has gone on the record about seeing William and Kate, so just some random guy is the primary source of the story. Sounds legit. Well, what he fails to appreciate, of course, is that Super Soraway's son paid £200,000 for this footage, not something they're going to do without having attested to the legitimacy of the content of it. But that rather valid point seems to have gone straight over the head of Mr. Boozy. Furthermore, it's the case that people's privacy is respected and that there isn't going to be lots of people descending on this farm shop where the royals regularly shop and are repeatedly seen, where people respect their right for privacy. They're not going to talk about it, not because there's anything sinister going on, but they know that the royals go there repeatedly. It's something that they're not going to get all excited about and start spilling the beans, but rather they respect the fact that they're two human beings who are going about their ordinary business, and the last thing they need is people speculating about them further. The fact is, this is not the business of Christopher Boozy. Naturally, like anybody else, he's entitled to an opinion about the matter, but of course there are well-founded opinions, and then there is idle gossip. And for him to be involved in a matter which has nothing to do with him, nothing to do with his country, and yet feels that it's appropriate for him to question this, demonstrates that actually he's just pursuing his own agenda, which is a part of the coterie of the Sussexes. But once again, demonstrating the lack of foresight for which he has become repeatedly known, which has caused him to end up in all manner of problems. His litigation and the accusations that have been raised against him are well known. The fact is, if he's going around questioning the veracity of the video and whether it was actually them there, and he's doing so on the part of trying to support the position of This One's Wife by laying on the pressure further against Catherine, it's going to blow up in his face. Because what if he is trying to prod the situation by asking, has anybody been and checked out whether there's anybody going on the record in terms of seeing William and Kate? Well, it then immediately causes people to ask, has anybody gone on the record about seeing Archie and Lilibet recently? They haven't been seen for a long time. If you're going to throw stones at the Waleses about having seen Kate, then doesn't it become a legitimate question for people to ask, where are Lilibet and Archie? Why is it their parents always go away and they're never seen? Why is it that nobody in the area has ever seen them? Are those children all right? If you, Mr. Boozy, are allowed to ask questions about something in relation to the Princess of Wales, the problem is you end up drawing attention to your master and mistress, Harry and this one's wife, because people will then turn around and say, well, it's all very well you asking that question, but while we're at it, where are those children? And then he sticks his nose in further by stating, I've compiled a few older videos of William and Kate walking together, as well as a recent video from Windsor Farm. Take a look and decide for yourself if it's Kate or not. In my opinion, we still haven't seen Kate in public. Well, again, he's allowed to express his opinion. By the same token, one can see that she has lost weight. She's not wearing makeup, as I've explained before. But along he comes, sticking his nose in where it's not wanted. What Mr. Boozy fails to recognise is that there isn't really the same celebrity culture, and that many people will simply respect the fact that William and Kate have gone shopping and not get overexcited about it. For instance, Balmoral, the royal family are regularly seen, and people know, yes, there's the royal family, we often see them out and about, and as a consequence, so what? They're ordinary people in the sense of, yes, they're royals, but they're allowed to go to the pub, they're allowed to go down to the shops, and just leave them be. Treat them like you would anybody else. Respect their privacy. But of course, what Mr. Boozy fails to understand is that many people in this vicinity, particularly those that run the shops, regularly see members of the royal family, and they respect the privacy, but they also want to retain the patronage of the royal family. So the last thing they're going to do is go around gossiping and speculating. The fact is, they aren't going to turn it into a circus. There isn't this. Why would people come forward to go on the record and feel the need to say, oh yes, it was definitely Kate? They know that it was. Therefore, there's nothing to say. The fact is that he has evidently been prodded by representatives of this one's wife for the purpose of trying to stir it up and to maintain the pressure upon Catherine by asking questions once again. The fact is that he doesn't understand the nature of areas where the royals are seen regularly, that they're, in a way, part of the furniture. And people aren't going to come racing forward and go, oh, yes, for definite, it was her. It's a case of, yeah, we know it was her. We don't need to say anything. She was going to the shops. We respect that. And also, what's it got to do with you, Mr. Boozy? Yes, you're allowed an opinion. Yes, you're allowed to state it on X. But actually, why don't you wind your neck in and show a bit of respect and privacy for other people? But you won't, because you pursue your own agenda whereby you need to spout off, that you need to be able to have your say, and you do so because you repeatedly have nailed your colours of the mast in relation to this one's, in relation to supporting this one's wife. It's interesting that a tech CEO seems to be accepting conspiracy theories. One would perhaps question his judgment in that respect. And, of course, what he fails to grasp, being a supporter of this one's wife and Harry, is that in the UK, members of the royal family can do things without attracting the paparazzi in the way that this one's wife does. That they can go to the local stores without the necessity of attracting attention. This one's wife, she goes shopping, back grid have to be there. She walks across a parking lot, back grid have to be there. She goes for a hike in the middle of the street, back grid have to be there. She concocts a supposed chase through New York City, which has to be filmed and photographed. He doesn't understand the difference quite patently, and of course, he's rolled out as a member of the coterie, part of that fabric of the narcissist, in order to support them. Once again, he makes a blunder that he rolls up, having not been seen for quite some time, feeling that it is appropriate for him to pass comment and agitate and stir the pot some further. It's completely transparent as to why this has been done. It's obvious that it's been done on the part of this one's wife in a further attempt to make life difficult for the Princess of Wales. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.